So yeah, um, it frustrated the absolute fucking shit out of me. I did not want to move back in with my family because I knew exactly how it was gonna go, and it did go exactly as I thought. Um, so yeah, and on top of that, when he found out that I was dealing with a dude because he assumed that it was a fucking relationship. When he found out that I was dealing with a dude, then he was just like, "You know what happened to you when you were a kid, so I don't understand why you would." And mind you, they never met my kids. It was non-committal. There was no way I was going to fucking have somebody that wasn't even committed to me meeting my kids in person. Like the fuck? And the rule was that nobody of interest should really cross through the threshold because, kids. Because, it's not just men that do that shit. Not to mention, he decided to use my own childhood trauma against me at that point, trying to say that I knew what happened to me as a kid, and why would I do all of that stuff? Also, I overheard him on, well, I didn't overhear him. He was in the same room speaking loudly. "Oh, yeah, when she gets her own place, I want to see all inside that place. I want to know who's going to live there. I want to be all in it and, make sure that this, and this, and this." And I was just like, "Are you fucking serious? You think that you're entitled to enter my fucking space? That doesn't make any damn sense." And he was like on the phone with one of his friends, loudly talking about it. "Yeah, I have to see all of this and all of that, blah, 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 blah." And I was just like, "All right, y'all, you're absolute garbage." I didn't say that. And he took to calling me a bitch constantly in front of the children, yes, because he thought I called him a motherfucker. And I didn't even say that phrase at all in whatever conversation that we were having. And that's why I was just like, "I'm not talking to you anymore unless it's through text message. Like, you will get no words out of me. No words." Because obviously you're hearing shit that I did not say, because I did not say motherfucker, because I don't call people motherfucker. That's I will call you a bitch before I will call you a motherfucker. I reference third person as a motherfucker, but I don't do second person, first person, whatever the fucking term is. I don't do that to people's faces. Like, I just be like, "Oh, that motherfucker over there," or whatever. I don't. That's not part of my language to just call somebody directly in front of me motherfucker. But he continued to call me a bitch continuously in front of the kids because he thought I did it one time. So yeah, that was absolutely fucking nuts. That was the worst time of my fucking life. I continuously felt unsafe. And yeah, you could argue that I should have never stayed in that house, but I didn't know what else to do. Like, what I really didn't know what else to do. I suppose I could have gone to a fucking shelter now that the kids were out of the fucking house, but what was I supposed to do after that? And how was I supposed to get back to the children? But yeah, that was some fucking insane ass shit that I had to fucking go through. So yeah, I think that's the whole story. So yeah, basically I ended up leaving, thank goodness, with the help of family, got down to Florida, was pretty weary about everybody, but I figured, how about this? I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt like I do with everybody else, right? For the umpteenth time. And everything was fine. Everything was wonderful. It was always like, "Oh, you're here, you're safe, you got family all around you. Okay, now I need somebody to help me, get to job interviews and get me, you know, out of here." And that's where it stopped. It's just like, okay, I am applying for jobs and still struggling to get one. Lovely. And getting to job interviews, I actually ended up missing a job interview because there was other stuff going on in the house and my mother could just not take me. Yeah. And I'm like, here we go again. So I ended up like making friends with the neighborhood people because that's the people outside of the house were the only ones that were really being kind to me. And yeah, that was crazy. Because when I would run into them, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing such a great job." Mind you, they only see like me for just a bit because I'm walking around outside while it's not like too sweltering hot. So I spent a lot of time like outside, and they were always nice to me, and like I would stop and chat with them for a while. Um, the kids actually had a couple of people to play with that weren't, little hellions. And, their parents were actually present, which I love that. I love when parents are actually in the same vicinity and, everybody's encouraging their children to be careful of the other children and to be mindful. I love that. Absolutely. Unlike where I live now, where everybody's kids pretty much run amok unsupervised. And so, yeah, I was back with family, and it was great. It was good. It was like, oh yeah, you're here, you're home, you're, everything. And then the fucking shit started all over again. And then, like, I tried to clean up like I used to do, but my mom had that particular way that she stacks the dishwasher, and if you don't do it her way, then she's gonna freak out. And she's like, I don't like when you do it like that because you can't get all the dishes in. And I was like, but the way that you, like, I didn't say it, but I was like, okay, but some of the way you're stacking the dishes, they're not getting clean. And mind you, I do stack to maximum efficiency while also leaving room for everything to get clean. So if I stacked the dishwasher, I had to do it while she was gone. And eventually I just stopped doing it because she just kept fucking complaining about how I did it. And fine, I get it. Everybody has their particulars or whatever. But she's never had a particular about stacking a fucking dishwasher before. Now, things can change. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever. But you can't complain that nobody's doing anything if you're going to complain about how they're doing it every single time. And it just got to be too much. That, and on top of that, she kept playing freaking favorites between my nephew and my kids because my nephew would end up choking out my daughter for to take his toys back. And I was just like, just give him the shit back. Just give it back. I'm sorry that you don't have toys. And as soon as I can, I will rectify that. But you can't just. I have to stop her from playing with. There's plenty of toys in this place. And I have to stop her from playing with the toys that are there when he's there because he will choke her out for them. Now, mind you, he did get better about that. But if I said anything to him, then my sister, his mother, would attack me and be like, you shouldn't talk to him like that, and go off. And then it was a whole argument between me and my sister, and then my mom would get involved and she would be like, y'all need to stop acting like this or whatever. This is why I can't stand, more fussing. Whatever. And I was fucking sick of it. It was like all over again because it was always like that. It was always like, you're the oldest, so you should know better, and blah blah blah, and all of that shit. And it's funny because I was just like, I got to the point where I was so tired of all the arguing and all the fighting because even my baby sister, like while I was arguing with my first sister, came in and was like, we're not going to sit here and scream at each other like teenagers. And I was like, the whole reason why I'm even getting fucking worked up in the first place is because we're all still doing the same damn shit and nobody fucking talks about the shit that fucking happened before we got here and got to this point in the first fucking place. Everybody just does their fucking dirt, doesn't want to talk about it, and then we're supposed to get over it and pretend like it never happened. Well, I'm not the one that can do that. Either we solve the motherfucking problem or we just hate each other forever. I'm not going to sit here and keep acting fake around people anymore. I can't do it. So, yeah, pretty much felt like everybody was ganging up on me, and this fucking sounds like a fucking nightmare. But, whatever.